we talk about women in sports. I'm Melanie Ortiz, sitting here with Laurentia Moten, Callie Hennessy, and Jocelyn Abrams. As I said before in this podcast, visibility, or lack thereof, is a major issue in women's sports. Minnesota Lynx forward Maya Moore says that there's an unnatural break in exposure for the highest level of women's basketball in the world. She says that women in basketball go from amazing amateur athletic union experiences to high school All-American games to the excitement of and phenomenal platform of the collegiate level to significantly less coverage. This means empty seats and a lot less traction. For instance, there's this huge disparity between coverage in the NBA and the WNBA. The NBA has exclusive partnerships with ABC, TNT, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, AZN, and NBA TV, whereas the WNBA has only been covered by ESPN2, ABC, and streams on NBA TV. This, however, is beginning to change. This year, the WNBA has nearly doubled their visibility on television, signing a multi-year contract with CBS Sports. According to ESPN, the network will broadcast 40 WNBA games, beginning with the organization's 23rd season starts next month. This will rival the 49 games NBA TV aired last year. In an interview with the ESPN Executive Vice President of Programming, Dan Weinberg, says the WNBA season lines up with their spring and summer programming schedule. Jocelyn, I remember you saying that Fox Sports is covering the Women's World Cup this summer, yeah?
Yeah, Fox Sports is going to produce a daily FIFA Women's World Cup Now show on Twitter from Paris. In case you didn't know before, this year's Women's World Cup is happening in France this summer. The show will be live streamed on Twitter, and the hosts are two soccer personalities, Karina LeBlanc and Aaron West. LeBlanc is a five-time World Cup goalkeeper from Canada, the head of CONCACAF women's football, and she's a studio analyst for this summer's tournament. And West is a video journalist, and he played as a midfielder at Davidson College. The show is going to be from the Paris office each match day from Friday, June 7th through Sunday, July 7th, and will be live streamed from Fox Sports and at Fox's Fox Soccer accounts. This program is supposed to add more highlights and fan interaction, and this show is an updated version of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Now, which live streamed the men's tournament and was very successful. The executive vice president of digital for Fox Sports, David Katz, says that the network wants their new show to be bold, dynamic, and interactive. He also says that Fox Sports and Twitter will be the place to be. The guests on the show this summer will include Alexi Lalas, Ali Wagner, bless her, and other high-profile broadcasters and celebrities. You can access the live coverage in the United States through Twitter, and it can be viewed through at Fox Sports and at Fox Soccer. Continuing on with the discussion of coverage in women's sports, and I guess in this case, lack of coverage too. Trump's come under a lot of scrutiny recently, right?
Yes, there has been major controversy between women's sports teams and the Trump administration in the past few years Trump is being in office. Ever since he took office, he has yet to host a women's championship sports team for a solo event at the White House until April 29th, 2019.
Yeah, just like Jocelyn said, Trump's come under a lot of scrutiny for never hosting a women's championship team, and it was over 2 years at the White House for their own individual event. The Washington Post reported in March that the past two WNBA champions, the Minnesota Lynx and the Seattle Storm, weren't invited to the Trump White House. Finally, he invited the 2019 NCAA Women's Tournament champions, the Baylor Bears. The Baylor University Bears took home their third national title with a win over Notre Dame 82-81 in this year's NCAA final, like I just said. They were welcomed to the Oval Office by President Trump. He said that he watched the tough final between the Baylor Bears and Notre Dame after several people called him and urged him to tune in. He also singled out individual players and mentioned key plays that they took part in during the game. The president also extended another invitation to team's head coach, Kim Mulkey. Coming to the White House has been a controversial political decision for a lot of teams that have been invited throughout the entire Trump administration, with many players from multiple teams refusing to attend, including the 2017 NBA champions, the Golden State Warriors. They declined their invitation after winning the 2017 NBA championship. The Minnesota Lynx won the WNBA championship for the fourth time that year, but no invitation was extended to them. So the Storm's chief executive said that even if they were invited, Trump's political decisions made it impossible for the team to attend. So my question is to you guys, Do you think Baylor should have attended Trump's house?
In my opinion, sorry.
No, you
In
can
my
go.
opinion, I just feel like it was a force.
Yeah.
And at this point, do we even go? Do
'Cause
we
it took
want
so
to
long
go?
for him to
Is
invite.
it genuine? Is it? But
Yeah, I think it's just up to interpretation for like each player, if they think it's genuine or is it like because he was harassed. But I think that they should go to finally get the recognition that they deserve.
I mean, if a player wants to go, then they'll go. If they don't, then they won't.
Do you think it should be like a collective team decision, or should it just be like individual players get to decide and only a few show up? Or should it be like we're all going to go or we're all not going to go?
Overall, I'd probably say that it should be a team decision, but that doesn't mean that with that decision that if you think that this person's politics and decisions over the long run have really come at odds with your own, then that doesn't necessarily mean that you should force yourself to go and
Sit through that?
sit through that. Yeah.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
With the past presidents like Obama, Bush, and Clinton, the WNBA and NCAA women's basketball champions teams have visited the White House and were recognized for their accomplishments. There's been one exception during the 2017 when Trump invited multiple men and women's NCAA championship teams to the White House. The women's teams that were welcomed at this event were the University of Maryland's women's lacrosse team, the University of Utah's co-ed ski team, West Virginia's co-ed rifle team, the McKendree University's women's bowling team, the University of Washington's women's rowing team, the University of Oklahoma's softball team, and Penn State's women's rugby team. The Washington Post reported that Trump has been honoring multiple men's sports teams over the years with solo visits, such as Clemson and Alabama men's football teams, the New England Patriots, Washington Capitals, and NASCAR champion Martin Truex Jr., while the WNBA championship teams have yet to be invited for the past 2 years despite their accomplishments.
You know, thinking back to even Alabama when they were invited to the White House, you know, Trump really takes care of his guests. He offers them fast food and, you know, on his fine china. But personally, I don't feel like they would have missed much if they declined his invitation, but that's just me.
Women in sports today are being shut down from our president by never being recognized for their achievements, and it's time for the White House to own up for what they're doing.
Thank you, Callie. I'm Melanie Ortiz, and on behalf of Laurentia Moten, Callie Hennessy, and Jocelyn Abrams, this has been the Bench Podcast. Thank you for tuning in.